Okay, so today we'll be multiplying binomials a little bit more than last time. Last time I just introduced the idea. This time we'll be actually doing them quite a bit. Okay, so once again, binomials, trinomials. Binomials have two terms, trinomials have three. Depends on what type of box you're going to make for a Punnett square. Okay, now you do need to know how to be able to do this going forward, multiplying, and we usually call it FOIL. Okay, so you can use the method whatever you want. You can also use Punnett squares, which are squares that you use in biology for genetics and everything. But whichever method you use it to the best of your ability. If you're constantly making mistakes with FOIL, probably switch to Punnett squares. If you're constantly making mistakes with Punnett squares, switch to FOIL. Or if you're just perfect with FOIL, don't try out Punnett squares. Just stick with what you know. Okay, so now binomials, pretty easy. Let's say we had x minus 2 times 4x plus 5. Okay, something that looked like this. You do need to know how to do this going forward because later on we will do the actual reverse. Okay, so FOIL would be first, so that would be 4x squared. Okay, then outside, which would be x times 5, so that would be 5x. Then inside, that would be minus 8x. And then last, that would be minus 10. Okay, and then what you would do is you would combine the two middle terms, usually in FOIL if you follow FOIL. That way, the two middle terms are going to be the ones that you add up. So I get 4x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, and voila, I'm done with it. Now, for the other way, if we make our actual square, okay, like I said before, you can write the terms wherever you want. For example, I'm going to do mine on the left and on the bottom, just because I'm out of room. So this would be x, this would be minus 2, this would be 4x. You can put the plus 5 if you want. I just would just put a 5 just for the sake of it. So right here I'd have 4x squared. Then I would have 5x. Okay. Then this one right here I would have minus 8x minus 10. Okay. And then what I would do is I would rearrange it into this. Okay, and then come up with a simplified answer of this. Okay, so binomials, pretty nice when working with them. With the trinomials, you would just make a bigger rectangle. Now, when multiplying trinomials, some people might accidentally just multiply the first term and then forget about the second term. But you have to, when you're multiplying a binomial with a trinomial, you need to multiply 6 times. And you should be getting 6 terms, then you can start combining like terms and working with it that way. Okay, the Punnett square helps deal with that confusion. So I'm going to write it as 3x squared minus 2x. Okay, that's along the bottom. And then because I ran out of room on the top, I'm going to have 4x squared minus 5x plus 7. Okay? Alright, so I multiply. I should get 12x to the 4th. And do keep track of the exponents because they will increase and decrease quite a bit. Okay, so this becomes negative 15, and then the exponents make it x to the 3rd. The exponents on the variables, I mean. And then this one should be 21x to the 2nd, because there is no variable with the 7. Okay, and then the same thing right here with the negative 2x. I'm going to have minus 8x to the 3rd. Okay, then I times the negative 2x by the negative 5x, and I should get plus 10x squared. If you'd like to write the signs as you're multiplying, I think that's just a great, grand method, because then you're just keeping track of everything a little bit nicer. Now, if you're paying close attention, you'll notice that these diagonals are going to be the same. So this tends to pop up quite a bit. It's a really cool thing to do. Okay. Now, if those are both like terms, I can go ahead and add them and just kind of go with it. So this would be 12x to the 4th. Alright, negative 15 plus negative 8 is negative 23x to the 3rd. 21 plus 10, yep, that should be right, is 31, x to the second, and then we're just going to have an old negative 14x. Okay? Now, if I did everything correctly, I wouldn't have to combine anything out here. And if you'd like to write them all out and then just combine them as is, that's fine, but this cool little pattern does show up. Now, this pattern only works when this is the same variable as this. If this was like a y or just an x and this was no x, then we would have some issues because that pattern wouldn't show up. Okay, so maybe it's probably best, here I'll show you how it's all written out. And then so it looks like this written out, so that you'll notice you can combine the negative 15x cubed and the negative 8x cubed, and you can also combine the 21x squared and the 10x squared, and you can clearly see that negative 14x and 12x to the fourth do not have dancing partners with it. Okay. Alright, so now when working on this stuff, just take your time. Take your time, take your time, take your time, and double check your work. Okay? Please, please, please take your time. I strongly recommend Punnett squares, but if you like FOIL, feel free to use that too. Okay? Alright, that's it for multiplying binomials and trinomials. So I'll talk to, oh, sorry. Before I end, if you were to do two trinomials, obviously you would have a bigger box, but you could still do it. You would just have a box that had 9 sections in it. Okay? And so it would look something like this. So you would actually have 9 terms in there. Because it's a trinomial, there's 3 in the first one, 3 in the second one, so that's a total of 9 different parts. So if you had like x squared plus 5x minus 9, and then we multiplied that by 3x squared minus 12x plus 20. You know, this would definitely be a lot of fun multiplying to get in there. So this would be, what, 3x to the fourth, negative 12x to the third, 20x squared would be that first row. Oops, need the 2. Okay, and then this would be 15x to the third, negative 60x squared, and then plus 100. Okay, so that would be some cool stuff right there. Then this would be negative 27x to the second, plus, what is that? That would be negative 12 times negative 9 is plus 108x. And then this would be minus 180. Okay, and now if you notice that little pattern that I showed you earlier, okay, look at that. These are all like terms. Oh, this one should be 100x. That makes sense. That actually helps me check my work because that should definitely be 100x. So this should be an x right here. Okay. All right. As you can see, even your math teacher can make mistakes. Okay, and you can actually combine this stuff as you go. But all you need to do is combine like terms and you're done. Okay, but anyways, that's multiplying binomials and trinomials. I'll talk to you later. Bye.